I am in the timeline of my highest good, my deepest desires, and my ultimate fulfillment. I am in the timeline of my highest good, my deepest desires, and my ultimate fulfillment. I am in the timeline of my highest good, my deepest desires, and my ultimate fulfillment. Hey girl, today is Sunday. It's July 20th, and this is episode 9 of 40 Something and Nothing, a safe space for women in their 40s to come together and get through this thing called life so that we can go into our 50s ready to go. I am Elisha Maria. I welcome you in. Come on in, take a seat, hang out with me. If this is your first time here, welcome, but I do highly recommend that you go back and listen to the previous 8 episodes. But if you're more comfortable just vibing out with me right now, that is totally fine too. Girl, can I be very, very candid with you guys, okay? Last week was rough. It was absolutely rough for me for several reasons. So let's get into them. There's a point to where I'm going with this, but let's start at the beginning. First things first is that last week I was in Jamaica and I had to leave Jamaica to come back to San Diego because, again, I work here, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows. But I don't know if you guys understand the magnitude of how much Jamaica means to me. It is my home. It is the place where I am most happiest. It is the place that makes me feel like there is a warm hug coming over me and I can just authentically just be myself. I'm at ease. I'm at peace. I am eating lots of fruit and being able to relax and recharge. It's literally my home. It's where my husband is. And it's always tough coming back from Jamaica. Every time I go and have to come back to the United States is always a very sad thing for me. There's a lot of tears involved, especially the initial leaving from the airport and seeing my husband pull off in the car. And I'm just like, God, no. Come back and get me. You know, it's going to make me tear up right now because it's just like here in San Diego, you guys, and we've talked about loneliness, right? We've already discussed that and gone over it. But it is hard sometimes to be alone. It's hard, not sometimes, it's hard to be alone, period. And so being at the airport and seeing my husband pull off and there's nothing that I can do, even though everything in me wants to run out of that airport door and just say, please take me back home, right? Yeah, I can't do that. I'm here for work. And right now, it's what I need to do. But it doesn't make it any easier. So I was already emotional and quite sad about that. Then while I'm in Jamaica, you know, last year I was living there, living full time. And the home that we have there really just had my signature touch. You know, there's a certain thing about a woman's touch that we can take anything pretty much and make it a home, not just a roof over our family's head, right? And so I feel like because 99.9% of the time as of now, I'm never there, I feel like that little woman's touch is gone. It's just like his pad, and as it should be because he's there 100% of the time. But I'm just like, you know, it was sad. It was sad to look around and just feel like I'm not there anymore, you know? I only have a tiny bit of clothes left. The bathroom didn't really have my products in there anymore. I have like a few, because everything is here in San Diego now. And the kitchen, just looked a little different than the last time I saw it. One of my favorite pots, the handle was broken. And because men just handle things a little differently. And again, that is nothing to take away from my husband. So if you're listening to this, because sometimes he does, please don't be upset. I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm just saying that energetically, it just seemed like I was no longer present in the space, right? And so that kind of made me sad too. And so I get back to San Diego and I got to get back to work just to find out that here at work, I lost one of the biggest clients that we have. The biggest client. To no fault of my own, which my bosses have said multiple times this past week, is like, you did nothing wrong. You did all the things. This client, it was going to happen. It was inevitable. There would be nothing that you could do to stop him from leaving. But it still stings, It still stings because with his portfolio, there were a lot of things that I had to clean up and that I had to do. And the ample amount of hours, you guys, that I had to put into his portfolio is just out of this world. Thank God I'm a salaried employee, because if I was hourly, that bill would be through the roof. All for him to now just pack up and go, right? And fine, if you need to go, you need to go. But he's taking my team with him, a team that if I didn't hire them myself, I still needed to train them if they were already hired. I still needed to put those hours into showing them and guiding them and motivating them and hearing their stories and doing my one-on-one meetings and cadences with them. And they've cried with me and told me things about their lives. And this was all helpful for me to figure out how I could properly manage them, because my management style is to learn from them more than I teach, right? I am an absorber, right? I don't micromanage. And so I had to develop a relationship with them in order to find how to tap into what inspires them the most to get the job done that I needed them to do. And so you're pulling your portfolio and you're taking my team with you. That hurts. It stings. It stings a little bit. I found myself crying so much that I just was like, I have to lean on someone at this time. And so I called up my bestie. And we had a conversation that was roughly 3 hours. And I am so blessed that I can call someone up that would take the time to really work through this with me and not feel like, girl, it's been 3 hours. If you don't hang up this phone. She's so patient with me, right? And I was able to, in that call, understanding exactly what I need to do. I need to go back to the drawing board. I lost my way a little bit because this whole leaving Jamaica and then losing my team, it just all hit me at the same time. And I need to go back to the drawing board. And so that's what this is about, because going back to the drawing board will help me figure out how to get back to the place that makes me the happiest. And that is being in Jamaica. I need to figure out, how do I get myself home? How do I find my way home? Because the only way that you can get to Jamaica and actually live a good life, you got to have the funds. You have to have money. And even if I go to Jamaica and find some sort of employment there, the money that is paid for most jobs in Jamaica is not enough to cover the essentials. So I need to be able to set myself up in a way that when I go back, I'm good, better than good, I'm great, right? And I'm the type of person that I don't want to have to just lean on my husband. I can if I want to, I can if I need to. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to be a lot more self-sufficient, because I do love my freedom of spend, my freedom of just being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I want to have a certain kind of life where I feel like my husband and I, we need to combine our finances and set ourselves up for our futures and the futures of our children. Okay, so talking to my bestie, she was like, you got to go home. That's point blank period. We have to figure out how you get yourself home, and how you do that. You need the funds, right? So how do I get the funds? And that's where I'm at right now. Well, the first thing that, between me crying, okay, because there was a lot of crying last week, but in between that, I was still able to get some research done. And what I learned is that we see income. This is the first thing. We see income as a description of our monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly pay, right? The paper itself. That is not what income is. I learned this past week, that income is what we clean up on our insides. That's why it is income. It is what we need to do within. And once you clean up your inner, then that would be reflected in the outer world. The money that we want is the outcome. It is the outcome of following what we want and desire on our inside from our income, right? Will be reflected in our outcome. And if I'm just being completely transparent, my income is screwed up because I grew up in a home that was full of poverty, where money was seen as lack, less than. We don't have it. Don't even ask. Don't even look. Okay. It's from a place of scarcity. And when you have a mindset that, and that's with anything, that could be with a man, with a job, with your money. If you have a mindset that there's never enough of it, then you try to lock it in a box. And then when you lock it in a box because you're holding on to it for dear life, clawed, closed fist, lock and key, it has no space to grow. And money is energy. It needs the space to freely move in and out. And so we have to start to reframe. If you've grown up in that same sort of household where money was always an issue and lack of, and a place of scarcity, just like I did, then this is for you. If not, then you might want to skip and wait to the next episode. But for us who grew up in poverty-enriched homes and environments, we tend to hold on, whether we know it or not. That still plays an effect in who we are as adults. And we hold on to money now for dear life. You get your paycheck and you know a bill is coming in, and I try to stay on top of my bills, but it still annoys me to be like, gosh, like I just got my money. I don't want to pay you people, but let me go ahead and get you paid, right? Because that comes from a place of scarcity. I want to hold on to it, because if I let it go, it leaves me and never comes back. And it's easier to see it, what I'm trying to say, when you think of it in terms of a person. If you have a person in your life that you have ever done that to, where you try to hold on for dear life and like basically without knowing it, forcing them to be with you or trying to force them to love you, it never works. It never works out. If you love something so much, we have to learn to let it go. And if it comes back, you know the lyrics. Come on, girl, you know the lyrics. You got to let it go. And if it comes back, then that's how you know, okay? We have to let things roam freely and know that if it loves me, it'll come back to me. And that's the same thing with money. The energy of money cannot come from a place of scarcity, a place of a mindset of lack. It has to come from a mindset that once I let this money go, I already know you're coming back, and you're coming back with a +1. You're bringing friends, okay? You're coming back and you're RSVPing with a group. Bring your cousins, bring the Benjamins, the whoever you need to bring them all with you. And you're coming back in multiples, but it has to come from an energy of where there is always enough. There is always enough. And I don't have that mindset right now. There's a small portion of me that does, but for the most part, I still see money the same way I did as a 5-year-old little girl, where it was like, I can't ask for ice cream. My mother don't have it, okay? And the money is not there. So then when Uncle Tony or Uncle Ernest would give me 50 cents or something, I'm holding on to that for dear life. Uncle Ernest, like, you still got that 50 cents from me? I do, because what am I, like, I want to go get something. I want a piece of candy or do something with it or buy something from Mr. Softy, the ice cream man that comes around, but I can't, because if I give up my 50 cents, I will never see it again. Next thing you know, one of my cousins stole it anyway, right? And I never saw it again, period. But my thing is like, it can't come from the energy that we have now. It can't come from a place of lack, a place of scarcity. It has to come from a mindset that you are 1000% certain that money is always going to come back to you. It has to. It's ours, right? It's our birthright. So we have to change our mindset. And first, like I said, understand that the income is not the paper. The income is starting and beginning with us on the inside, changing our mindset, changing how we view money, learning more about it. We're trying to hold on to something and we don't even know how it works. It's like, I'm trying to hold on to you because I love you and I need you in my life. But did I get a chance to really even know who you are or how you work? You know what I'm saying? No, we need to take a step back and start to clean up our insides. That is the income. And then once we do that, it'll reflect in our outcome. And then our outcome will start to change. And that money that we are looking for will start to flow to us freely, because we're now providing a safe space for that energy to come and go as it pleases. It starts with shifting our mindsets. Money needs freedom. It needs space to flow freely. So how do we shift our mindsets? The only thing I know, girl, is to start with some affirmations. So I'm going to give you a few affirmations. Save this, record it if you need to, so that every morning or every night you either can read it or say it to yourself out loud. Okay, here we go. Money flows to me consistently with ease. Money flows to me consistently with ease. Money is always available to me at all times. Money is always available to me at all times. I am aligned with the energy of abundance. I am aligned with the energy of abundance. I am grateful for the blessings I currently have and for the wealth that is coming my way. I am grateful for the blessings that I currently have and for the wealth that is coming my way. Okay, whew. Now that we got that part out of the way, we need to now just let go and allow the universe, God, whatever your higher source of choice is, to do its thing. And in the meantime, let's start to put some things into practice practically, okay? Affirmations, I hope you guys know that affirmations, once you say them, you let it go. You let it go. You allow the universe or God or whoever is your person, your go-to higher power, you allow them to do their thing now, and you let it go. And while you are letting it go and allowing the higher power to do what it needs to do, there are some things that we can put into practice practically, okay? Let's get started with that. First things first, because listen, I don't know what your goals are in terms of finances, but as I already mentioned, this girl here, your girl, she wants to go home, okay? I want to go home. And the first thing that we need to do is pay ourselves first. The money comes in, whether you're paid monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever the case, pay yourself first. Try to stick to an amount around 10%. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, I got the bills and I got this. The bills will be there. They will still be there. Trust me, because they're going to let you know that they want their money. They're going to be calling or sending you text messages talking about, looks like you missed the bill. So the bills will be there, right? You have to pay yourself first. You pay yourself first, roughly 10%. If you can't do 10%, do a little less, but give yourself something. I don't care if it's $5. Give yourself something. And then pay your bills. Prime example is when I was pregnant with my first daughter, Sanaya, who is now 22 now. I did not have money. I wasn't in a good situation. I was just coming from being homeless. We had just moved into our first place, and it was a subsidized apartment program that was going to help me with the rent as long as I continued to go and finish college. I was attending Cheney University at the time, but I knew that I wanted Sanaya to have something for herself. And so it started with me opening up an account with it was like this bank that had like this orange little like lion. I think it was called ING Direct. I ended up transferring the ING Direct account from that to First Entertainment Credit Union in Los Angeles, but it started off with ING, and I was literally doing $1, $1, you guys, per month. Once Sanaya turned 18, I felt so proud of myself that I was able to convert that account over to her and gave her a little cushion of money. Now, was it much? No, it wasn't much at all. Roughly around 15,000, something around the sort. But my point was, it started out with just $1. And that's what I'm saying. Pay yourself first. I don't care how much it is. I try my best to stick with the 10%, but whatever you can do in this moment is whatever you can do. Pay yourself first. Okay, now I've said that 1,000 times already. All right, on to the next thing. Now, the next thing that we can do practically while the universe is working in our favor, because the universe is working in our favor, okay? Hello. In the meantime, we can decrease our expenses. Cut some apps, cut some subscriptions, call up your cell phone provider and let them know that you're going to leave. They are most likely tell you, oh, we have this special that we will reduce your bill for X amount of months if you stay with us. Oh, okay, well then, yeah, go ahead and sign me up for that. I'll stay. Like, take advantage of what you can take advantage of and decrease some of your expenses. I used to have all the apps, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, so that I could watch that TV show Ghost, because I love that show. And I literally am down to just Netflix. I don't have Hulu anymore. Not saying that Netflix has to be the choice for you, but I'm just saying decrease your apps and subscriptions so that you can save a little bit. Now, once I get back on my feet, I'm probably going to introduce some of those back into my life. Like, definitely want my Hulu back, definitely want Paramount back. But in the meantime, right now, get rid of any subscriptions or apps that you don't need. Second thing, start doing stuff at home. Date nights at home, Starbucks, home. And start setting a schedule, like maybe every 7 weeks, take yourself out. 7 months, plan a little staycation, 7 years, a big vacation, something like that, right? Reduce your consumption. I had to cut the whole Instagram and stuff. I still have them, but I don't really be on them like that. I can't really subscribe to it like that because, especially TikTok, because TikTok will have me in that TikTok shop and I will be blowing my money left and right with things that I absolutely don't need. So if you need to, decrease your consumption if it's a trigger for you, or if you find yourself purchasing because some influencer done influenced you. And yeah, get rid of the consumption and really start to pull in the reins in terms of letting go of things that you don't need. There are a lot of things in my life that I can think of that I absolutely don't need. And so I'm going to be cleaning those up this week. The next thing that we could do, which is what I've actually been doing for about a month now, it's been about 2 months, the 50-50 method. Okay, here in San Diego, my rent is $3,000. Now, I can take my check at the beginning of the month and just flat out pay the $3,000 because my rent is due on the 1st. But why do that? Because when I do that, I only have a little bit of change left over to play around with. Instead, I have now done, I'm doing $1,500 I get paid bi-weekly, by the way. I do $1,500 with the first check, $1,500 with my second check in the middle of the month, and now my rent is paid. The only problem is that if you have not been doing the 50-50 method, the first time that you do it, it will make it a little tough financially for you because let's take, for example, August is going to be the first time that you do the 50-50 method. Then that means your first check that you get at the beginning of in August, if you're paid bi-weekly, right? Or every 2 weeks. If you get your first check at the beginning of the month and you're going to have to pay your full amount of rent for August, then you'll still be a little tight. And then again, when you get that middle check at the middle of the month, make sure that you still do half of your rent. In my case, it would be still sending $1,500 to my management company. And so now my finances are a little tight because it's looking like I done paid almost $4,500 in rent for the month, right? But it's going to look a lot lighter come September 1st, because for September, I am only needing to pay $1,500 because I've already done half. And that gives you a lot of change left over to pay yourself first, pay the other bills. So I don't know about you, but I think the 50-50 method works really well for me in terms of my financial personalization, my budget. 50-50 method just works great for me. Splitting all my bills. And this, I don't just do that with the rent. I literally do that with all my bills. My cell phone bill is $200. So I pay $100 at the beginning of the month, $100 mid-month. So by the end of the month, the bill is paid. And I do that across the board for all of my bills. The next thing that we could do is add supplemental income. Hopefully, the supplemental income that you add up or add to, if you need to. Now, if you don't need to add supplemental income and you're good with once you decrease your expenses and try the 50-50 method and you're like, girl, I'm good, we just gonna rock out with this for a while, that's totally fine too. But if you do these things, you're paying yourself first, you've decreased your expenses, you're doing the 50-50 method and you're like, money is still a little tight, then you probably need to add some more funds, right? And hopefully you can come up with a way to do that passively, because what is more expensive than the actual bills that you have is your time. And if you are not able to find something passive that you could do, for example, it could be an ebook or selling items on Amazon or on eBay, or what is that other one called? I can't even think of it right now, but something that you can literally do in your sleep, right? If you can't do that, then you'll have to find a part-time job. part-time jobs, while they may bring in supplemental income, is sucking up your time. And time to me is everything. Time is something that I can't get back, right? So I feel like it's more expensive for me if I need to use up my time. And if your mind works how my mind works, then that means we need to find something passive. So we would need to sit down. And again, this takes a bit of energy, but we would need to find something that we could do, that we could just be post and done. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's an ebook, you will take the time that it needs to draft this ebook, a recipe book, or whatever it is that you can come up with. And then once you post it, though, it's done. And it could be 99 cents, $1.99, $2, $3.99, or whatever the case may be. And yes, it takes time to see those sales come in, but it's passive. You just post and done and wait for the funds to come, right? I think that is it makes a lot more sense for me, because I feel like my time is a bit more expensive and I would rather be doing something else other than spending my time at a part-time job. But if you're not able to come up with anything that you can do to bring in additional funds the passive way, then it's time to get a little part-time gig. Something simple that's not really going to stress you out, especially if you have a stressful full-time gig. Then you want something that's going to be a little bit more lighthearted. That could be something part-time, Target, I don't know, you name it. But you will probably need to have some sort of supplemental income if you're doing all the things, if you're able to pay yourself first, you've decreased everything that you can decrease, and you're doing the 50-50 method, and you're still like, I need more funds, then it's time to add some supplemental income. And so, with that being said, the way that if adding supplemental income is the way that you have to go about it, right? If that's what you have to do, and let's say it has to be like a part-time gig, I highly recommend that you set a deadline, okay? Because again, we don't want something that's sucking up your time. Your time is more valuable than anything, because that is not replenishable. You cannot get that back. So set a deadline, set an amount that you want to be able to save or use to invest if you need to, and then get out of there as quickly as you can, right? Based on the budget and what is going to work for your personal needs. But keep in mind that we're doing all of this to eventually set ourselves up for happiness, so that we can do what we actually love and want to do. And so I'm going to be taking all of this into effect this week, removing that scarcity mindset, really, really focusing on my budgeting goals and what I want for myself, because I know for a fact that Jamaica is my happy place, and being happy is my birthright. It's your birthright. It's our birthright. Having wealth is our birthright. So with all that being said, again, I know I say it all the time. I hope it's making sense, right? And yeah, because girl, I can't do this. I have to get back to what makes me authentically happy. And part of that is that little island in the middle of the sea. And yeah, that's what makes me happiest. So I have a few more affirmations to take us to a close for this episode. And we're just going to get into them right now. So we're just going to take a second, breathe, okay? Whew. I am more than capable of making smart financial decisions. I am more than capable of making smart financial decisions. I am creating an environment that money is attracted to and magnetically comes to me and abundance. I am creating an environment that money is attracted to and magnetically comes to me in abundance. There will always be more. More love, more money, more abundance. There will always be more. More love, more money, more abundance. Girl, thank you for being here with me on this Sunday. I love you. Oh, and how I was so busy at the beginning of this talking about how my week was a train wreck. How was yours? I hope your week was better than mine. Let me know. How was your week? How are you feeling? How are you doing on this Sunday? If your week was anything reflective of how my week was, girl, I know, I get it, but we're going to get through it. We are going to get through it, and we are going to come out on the other side better than we went in, okay? And it starts within, though. So just like I was able to call on my bestie and have a 3-hour powwow to figure out my life and get myself back on track, you can do the same. If you need to reach me, go to my Instagram page. All of my contact info is there. My email address, my phone number, it's all there. If you need to reach out, reach out. I am here for you. And listen, sometimes we need that powwow sessions just to remind us of what we're doing and where we're going. So if you need me, do not hesitate to reach out. I love you. Have a great week. Okay, bye.